Yeah, no, Honda Canada replied again, and it's they just want me to deal directly with the dealership. I don't know why they exist, really. I don't know what they do. There's a Honda car dealership here, and I've never seen them have a Honda Fit. I mean, they have more used cars that are Volkswagen Tiguan. Is weird. Anyway, this is a Work Industries. You know what I'm worried about is receiving training that breaks my heart again. Oh man, the BCGEU in Nanaimo, that broke my heart big time. I'm still frustrated with how pathetic that was. But you know, like I'm pulled over with my vehicle, four-way flashers, lights on. And you know, the trucks that kind of deliver the people and the signs for flags, you know, flag people for construction. They're speeding past me like I'm on the edge of the road pretty close. There's oncoming cars in the other lane. They're still going really fast. What's the use? But also a lot of flag people there, you can tell they don't want to be there. I mean, sometimes they might just stay in that job a long time, complain about it, but they do it because they don't want to pay attention. So they're complaining about the physical hardships because they're trying to avoid the mental hardships. So I'm afraid, like, what if I took a flag person course as a driver psychologist who created defensive driving behaviors on the sheet that I offered to ICBC to update their, you know, evaluation sheets, and I was like, oh, we don't really test for that, defensive driving, and designing a course, you know, and then I do this flag person course, and it would break my heart big time. It'd be like, what a waste of time. This is so subhuman. And last time I took first aid training, I think I already said how pathetic it was. I mean, the people just race through the course that they're trying to do, and give the breaks and finish in time and print their certificates, and really barely anybody practices anything, and now they last longer, these courses, and people that have certificates, they're afraid to do anything when there's a situation, and I mean, people that are in charge of replenishing first aid kits at their work, they don't do it. It's pretty pathetic training for jobs, you know, and you get paid, or somebody pays sometimes if you don't pay, and of course I don't want to pay for first aid. I've taken like 8 to 10 of these courses, and they've been getting worse every time. So I don't want to pay like a large sums of money that are laundered to Work BC instead of me to take a pathetic course. But you know, I think I've offered an employer close to here that's having a week of training that I'm connected to, some training of my own for team building. 2 sessions, and then vehicle related things for those that drive our vehicles. And that's just some of the things I know they need. They need a lot more, but I'm pretty sure they're going to refuse, and I'm pretty sure I'll be very disappointed with the pathetic training I get. It'll be nice if first aid is paid just to get a certificate, but that's not really why I'm there. I'm there to interact with people, to excel, to ask questions, to get better, and to maybe learn something I didn't learn in one of the previous courses. You know, but a lot of people, they're kind of happy to just have the instructor go through, fly through the course. They barely know how to get something out of it or to give something when they offer the course. I mean, they won't even like offer like a basic first aid kit. Maybe they'll offer this thing where you can revive a drug addict so they can take more drugs for the economy. I don't know. It's been a few years. Maybe they offer that now. It's a pretty cheap kit. Cheap kit for cheap lives that we all think is normal in our proto-society, and we all think it's somebody else. I'm reading this book, I showed you the book in another video, and it's, you know, the writing, the language he uses, you know, I'd have to read parts of it differently if I was reading to kids, but it's cheering me up because it really kind of shows things I already know. And this guy wrote a book, and he's talking about democracy, for example, and other forms of governing, and none of them have been really successful because of how dumb we are as a species and how we don't question incompetence. You know, he was saying that Hitler got the job of being Hitler because nobody was really questioning his incompetence. Like, he was talking about the way Hitler spent his day, and it's like, that's why when I tell people which country did the Nazis invade first, and Nazis are the ones who cross the street and look the other way, which is full of this in the world everywhere, whether you want to call them that or not. So people like Hitler, they're just the mascot of the majority that are the problem, that look the other way and judge somebody. He's such an idiot. Hitler is so incompetent, you can tell. Sure, he's good with rhetoric in a crowd, and that's all he needed. That's all he needed to get in power and do so much to the entire world. Is he needed people to think he's an idiot while not doing anything. And there you go. You got Trump for 4 years, and you might get him again because you're a bunch of idiot who does nothing to stop incompetence. And that's really the same species we are now that we were thousands of years ago, when you review the history objectively in a way that doesn't kind of allow for too much human chauvinism. Like, he does have human chauvinism, this author of this book. So I'm really worried. I see another staff of the place where I work coming up. I'm really worried about the training that I'll be forced to take. Sure, I'll feel guilty accepting payment, but they'll be thinking they're doing a good job to pay me for this training, that I'll have to shut up and pretend it's not subhuman or incompetent.